painters in American history. The works of Alice Neel are being featured at a new exhibition at the DeYoung Museum. We're talking to the assistant curator of the Fine Arts Museum of San Francisco. Also, business and tourism are making a comeback in San Francisco Chinatown. We're talking to Whiz Walk Tours about a unique way for you to experience this vibrant San Francisco neighborhood. But now, as of today, San Francisco has 3 brand new school board members. Mayor London Breed officially named the replacements to the 3 members who were recalled by voters last month.
I'm so happy and I'm so proud that we have 3 amazing women who all have kids in our public school system, who all had a common theme of service, who all care deeply about seeing a change, who all want better for our children, and who also care about supporting our educators.
Those 3 women are all moms, as the mayor mentioned: Ann Hsu, Lainey Motamedi, and Lisa Weissman Ward. And one of them, Ann Hsu, is joining us today. Commissioner Hsu, thanks for your time on this very busy day for you.
Thank you, Kristen. Happy to be here.
Well, I got to ask you, how do you feel about being appointed by the mayor to this role? Were you surprised?
I am pleasantly surprised. I thought I did have a chance, but didn't know until yesterday. So.
Wow. All right, and there
I'm
you were
excited.
today at the press conference. You were one of the recall organizers, and now you occupy one of those seats on the board. What made you, thinking back, what made you so angry, or maybe the right word is disappointed, that you felt like you had to try to influence things from the inside?
Well, as many parents in San Francisco experienced firsthand during the pandemic, we had our students sitting at home every day for 18 months doing Zoom school, and it was a disaster for one of my sons. The other one is okay, but I would guess that the majority of students in SFUSD were with my son, who did not do okay. And we really wanted the board to focus on the students, and they were not. And that's what got us angry and got us motivated to do something about it.
You mentioned your sons. Yeah, you're the PTSA president at Galileo High. And so you have the 2 kids there, and the other 2 new board members, Motamedi and Weissman Ward, are also parents. Why do you think that was so important to the mayor?
You know, parents were the ones that really got engaged, and we're the ones that really care about our students and everybody else's children and students. And I think that really mattered to the mayor. She said from day one that children must come first. And she knows that for every one of us parents, that is exactly how we feel. And I am so happy she chose a great team. I'm so excited to be working with these 2 new fellow commissioners.
All right, you got some training to do, and then it's time to get to work. Once that happens, what do you think should be your biggest priorities? What are the priorities for the board? I mean, I know you're facing so many big issues. You got the budget deficit, where to make the cuts. You've got the search for the superintendent. You've got the learning loss to deal with from the past 2 years.
You just answered your own question.
Sorry.
Definitely.
Sorry. But I'm sure you have a vision
Definitely.
with regard to all these things.
Well, the details we do not have. We're going to be onboarding in a couple of days right after the weekend. So I don't have any details about the budget or the superintendent, but those definitely are the 2 top priorities. And right after that is learning loss and mental health. The mayor talked about what a wonderful time she had in high school, not in class, right? Being in high school, being at Galileo. And I think that's what needs to come back for our students, especially the high school students.
You know, some of the issues have been racialized in this district, how funding is distributed, how are students admitted to certain schools. These battles are often presented as what benefits one group hurts the other. Do you view it that way? How do you view it?
Absolutely not. I think all students deserve what is best for them. And for what's best for one person is not necessarily the same for the other. So we really need to do the work to see what is best for each student or each group of students and provide that to them. It's not that everyone wants the same thing, I have two twin boys who are very different. They don't want the same thing. They should not get offered the same thing. So I'm really looking forward to diving into the details and learning about all the different communities within SFUSD and really offer the services that fit and encourage each student.
I know you've got to consider all schools, but one of the hottest issues is with regard to Lowell High School and whether admissions should be based on merit again, however you want to define merit, or have it be lottery based, which the previous board in its composition tried to do. And where do you think that should be?
I've said this during the recall, and I'm still of the same mind that Lowell is an academically challenging environment for those students who want it. Now, my two sons are not there, so I'm not talking about my personal benefit or personal interest, but for those students who want that kind of academic challenge, they should have that. And for those students who do not, who want other types of challenges and interests, they should have those. So I think Lowell should exist for academically inclined students. And the rest of our school district needs to step up and offer different kinds of programs for other students.
Does that mean you think there should be a merit component in the admissions process and it shouldn't be based on a random lottery?
Yes, Lowell's admissions, merit-based admissions, I believe needs to go back, which I think the court already said that it should go back.
Are there different ways to define merit or consider merit?
I don't think merit is the problem. I think, I don't know, but I understand that there is some racism issues at Lowell, and I don't doubt that. I think that is a separate issue than merit. Okay. And that issue needs to be addressed independently of merit.
What about, and I realize this may be, you know, not on the front burner, but maybe a later conversation, but many parents have brought up, will you try to bring back algebra to 8th grade, which of course became, you know, not something the district did anymore after 2014.
You know, my sons were in 8th grade after that decision, so they did not take algebra. They took whatever math that was in its place, and I think they're fine. So I don't have an opinion one way or the other until I look into the matter in more detail.
Okay. After such a contentious recall, do you fear there might be a lot of opposition to you or maybe the board in general before you even get down to work?
You know, the reason for the recall is that everybody wanted the board to focus on education of our kids and not play politics. I hope the people who were against the recall don't want politics instead of education. I think they just want what's good for the students too. So let's start new with a brand new, at least half new people on the board who are focused on the education for all the kids of those people who were against the recall. We want to do what is best for all the kids. So let's start over. Let's you know, put aside our differences and really focus on the kids like the mayor asked us to do and what we intend to do.
All right, well, many people applaud your appointment. Other messages on social media are already saying, you know, vote you out. And I don't mean you personally, but the three of you who are kind of now seen as sort of coming as a package. And, you know, there's certain progressives who question whether their viewpoints will be represented by this new board. So I guess, you know, your term is only until next January. What do you hope to do between now and then that will convince everybody of this together approach that you are going to be able to work on behalf of everybody?
Well, I don't have Twitter, so I'm glad I'm not seeing what is happening there, and I don't use Facebook. So
I'm going to follow you right there, okay?
I don't think there's anything to follow.
No,
but anyway.
I meant follow you to stop the platform
or
maybe
yes,
put it on hold. Because I know what you mean, because there can be a lot of contentious things said, which may not actually help, you know, the work going forward. But I do wonder what you hope to concretely achieve, given that you will have to face the voters in November and the term ends. It's an appointed term to finish out those three terms, and that's only till January. So what do you hope to do in a very short amount of time?
Well, we do have a few months to work with, and I think the three new board members are professional women who got things done. who are competent. So wait and see what we can do in the few months before you judge us.
All right, Ann Hsu, one of the new school board members in San Francisco, thank you so very much for taking time out of your whirlwind day today to talk with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, coming up next, we're talking about a new exhibit at San Francisco's DeYoung Museum. Love that place, featuring the art of Alice Neel. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, enjoy this gorgeous shot that our director extraordinaire is going to throw up for you right now. Opening. She painted people from all walks of life, from victims of the Great Depression to political leaders to members of the LGBTQ community, and even fellow artist Andy Warhol. Now her famous works of art are on display at San Francisco's DeYoung Museum. The grand opening for Alice Neel, People Come First, is happening tomorrow. And here to talk to us about the exhibit and the celebration is Lauren Palmor. She is the Assistant Curator of American Art at the Fine Arts Museum of San Francisco. A wonderful place. Thank you so very much for joining us today, Lauren.
Thank you for inviting me to speak about this incredible once-in-a-lifetime exhibition.
All right, we've got to know Alice Neel a little bit better before we share what this exhibit is about. Tell us about her work. What was she most known for?
Alice Neel could probably be summed up by the phrase radical humanist. She was decades ahead of her time in her sympathy for her neighbors in Spanish Harlem, for LGBTQ couples, for creatives of all walks of life. She saw everyone's innate humanity, and that's what really set her apart at a time where abstract expressionism was really the most popular form of American art. She stuck to her deepest beliefs in the fact that the human figure was the most important thing, first and foremost.
I guess, is that what she means by people come first? You know, do you think that is the sentiment that kind of is captured in all her artwork?
Yeah, that was the title of the exhibition comes from a phrase that Neel herself said to her friend Mike Gold, whose portrait is also on view in the exhibition. She said, people come first, and it's really what she believed. Even in her cityscapes, landscapes, and still lifes, which are probably less well known to some of our visitors, you always feel the sense of people and humanity. It infuses all of her work.
Look at the eyes really strike me in all of her portraits of people. There's some crazy intensity to it. Wow.
People also remark on her hands, and I'll invite all of our visitors to look closely at hands and think about how character is shown in hands, both in her works, and then maybe look around and see if you notice similar patterns in your own life. She really saw how people say a lot about themselves in ways that they're not even aware. Subtle gesture, the way that they wear their clothes, the way that they sit in a chair. It's kind of a fun way of approaching the exhibition as an exercise and looking closely at how people reveal themselves.
Fascinating. Now, People Come First originated at the Met in New York, right? Tell me about, why the DeYoung decided to hold its own presentation here.
Well, it was about time for the West Coast to have an amazing Alice Neel retrospective. This is the largest Alice Neel exhibition that's ever been on the West Coast, and we're really grateful to our partners at the Metropolitan Museum of Art who allowed us to work with them in making this happen. The special thing about our version of the exhibition is that we've added an interlude in the exhibition that celebrates Neel's time in San Francisco.
Oh.
Many people will be surprised to learn that she spent significant time here in the 60s, a short visit in 1967, and then 2 months in 1969. And while she was here, she painted in her son's apartment near Buena Vista Park, so not very far from the DeYoung Museum. And in the middle of the exhibition, we have a film which was made by her son that shows Neel in the process of painting a portrait in that apartment in San Francisco. And of course, you have the magic of watching her paint, but next to the film, you can also see the final result, the portrait of her future daughter-in-law, Ginny. So I invite our San Francisco visitors to enjoy this very special addition to the DeYoung presentation of the show.
That's even more special to know that. She was a feminist, wasn't she?
Neel would have had a hard time calling herself a feminist. She believed in the causes that feminism uplifted and supported, and her reputation was really valorized by the feminist movement, but she didn't have the easiest relationship with feminism as we know it. She didn't want to uplift just women because she wanted to uplift all people. So she wasn't really a feminist. I've read this wonderful quote that said she's an aliceneelist. She just wanted all people to benefit from having a rightful place in society and having their dignity and being respected and cared for.
I like that. I mean, it's Women's History Month, so I thought I had to ask, but you're right. She is a peopleist or aliceneelist, right? So the DeYoung is hosting an opening celebration for the exhibit tomorrow. What can people expect, and can they still attend?
Yes, please, everybody is invited to come join us at the DeYoung Museum tomorrow. Admission to the exhibition is free, underwritten by sponsors from Gucci. And we will have music, we will have conversation on site between myself and the Met curators, Kelly Baum and Randy Griffey. We are going to have portrait workshops. It's going to be a whole day of celebrating and coming back together. I want to say the best thing about this exhibition in this post-COVID maybe moment where we're approaching returning back to life, it's just the feeling of being in a gallery surrounded by pictures of people and surrounded by that feeling of life. It's just invigorating and restorative to the soul. And so come join us tomorrow and feel it for yourself.
You got me sold. I'm coming out for a tour, and I hope you'll be there when I show up for my tour, Lauren. Thank you so very much. Oh my gosh, that's a fantastic, generous offer. Thank you so much. Best of luck. Congrats on the exhibition.
Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
See ya. If not tomorrow, another day. Coming up next, exploring Chinatown. We're talking with the San Francisco tour company that's celebrating its 35-year history. We'll be right back with Walkways Tours. That's another tongue twister, isn't it? Walkways Tour. Whiz walk. All right, enjoy this view. We'll be right back. business and tourism are starting to pick up in San Francisco's Chinatown after the pandemic caused so much financial strain the last 2 years. But there is a business that's making returning to Chinatown easy and fun. Walkways Chinatown Tours is celebrating 35 years in business this year with unique cultural and historical tours several times a week. Joining us now to talk about all the tours is one of the tour's amazing tour leaders, Gimme Park Lai. Hey, Gimme.
Hey, Kristen, good to see you.
Oh, good to see you. Okay, before we talk about the tours, full disclosure, Gimme and I have known each other for about, 30 years now. When I interned for her, Gimme, do you want to share the story, our history?
You were just a child.
I still am.
You were just a child, but you look at where you went after you were with a KNBR. You just went on to a lot of great things and ending up now at KGO TV. Terrific. I'm really proud of you, Kristen.
Oh, Gimme, you really helped me with that. You were such a mentor, and KNBR was a great place to work, and just to be able to report on your community, as you know, is fabulous. But you are still giving back. I'm delighted to find out that you're actually leading Walkways Chinatown Tours. So tell me about what Walkways does, how long it's been doing it.
Well, as you said, we've been around for 35 years. We're started by the very talented Shirley Fong Torres. She was the instigator of, or rather, she put our company in place, and for 35 years or so, started out in 1987. And she wanted to give back. You talk about, I know you give back, Kristen, but all of us, each generation gives something back to those from where we came from. And I see that you have some of the images.
Yep.
From some of
one
our
of your tours. I know you have several. I'm not sure
yes.
which one this is.
Okay, all right. Here we're going down the vegetable route here at a grocery store, and this is a beautiful mural on Wentworth Place, and it is, and now we're on Grand Avenue. Most of your visitors, if they've been to Chinatown, San Francisco, are very familiar with this explosion of red. Everything is red, especially at this time of the year. Even my sweater in red there. But the red is a good luck. It's very auspicious, so we like to decorate Chinatown in red. And there's the tiger. Year of the tiger is 4720 in Chinese lunar years. Their calendar is a little different from our Georgian calendar that we use today. So it's an exciting place. We're eager to come back full force and welcome everyone to come.
See, so you just got a taste of the kind of inside knowledge, history, culture that you will get on one of these tours, especially if you get Gimme as tour guide. But I know you're very excited because you just resumed the culinary tour, right? I think it's got an amazing name too. I forget what it is, but tell us what the culinary tour is all about.
It is, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
The tour is called All You Can, I Can't Believe I Ate Everything in Chinatown on this tour.
Okay, so you go to all the amazing food places. Check this out. You have char siu bao. What else? What are the highlights? Hagao.
Little steamed baos, char siu baos, and hargao. I can see little dumplings there. But it's a wonderful experience. I think many of your viewers have eaten Chinese food, and because of the food component, everybody wants to come to Chinatown. They want something even more authentic, and this is our friends at the Walk Shop. Okay, I'm sorry to mention all of these, but these are all folks that we know and have partnered with us for over 35 years.
I know. I wish we had the time to say every single one, because there's just so many great foodie places in Chinatown. Why is this especially important right now? I know the businesses had such a tough time during the pandemic when everybody was gone, right? The shops that were so vibrant, really no business, and restaurants were closed down. Is this a way to draw people back, and is it important that people do that?
We continue to do what we've been doing for all these years, even during the pandemic. Yes, business is going to come back. I am so confident about that. I was in Chinatown on tour just over the past weekend, and there were actually, would you believe it, there were more people than I've ever seen on Grand Avenue and on Stockton Street in the 2 years of the pandemic. So it's coming back. It's going to take a lot of hard work, but a lot of people are working to make that happen.
Also in the last few years, we were struggling with, and we still continue to struggle with, some hate, if you will, bias, misunderstanding directed at Asian Americans. And I wonder if you think cultural tours such as this plays a component in making things better. You know, do you get out of state or international visitors who come and learn something and they go, oh, hey, I have a whole new understanding?
Kristen, we take them through every part of Chinatown that we can manage in the 2 hours that we take our folks out. Of course, there's history, and then there's all the visuals too. You've been on Stockton Street. You know that Stockton Street is a grocery shopping street, right? Everybody is out there looking for the freshest vegetables and the freshest food. I think our visitors really, I can tell you, their eyes open when they see all of this. Of course, they've heard about all the great things.
That's
and they
awesome.
also...
Gimme, we're going to have to keep talking about these great things over on Facebook Live because we have to pay the bills, so do a little commercial break. But walkwiz.com is where people should go to learn about the tours. Walkwiz.com. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right. See, Gimme, once on radio, you're just always great. You just get so much great stuff in. You're a great talker, and this is good stuff.
Yeah.
So I know, right? We can do that forever. Okay, so do you have special tours for because this seems like it would be great for school groups.
There's the all-you-can-eat tour for Chinatown, and that's where they go to each little shop that has something for you to taste. You might even go into a porridge shop and maybe have a small serving of juk. You know what juk is, right?
Yeah.
That's a porridge.
You know, it's the ricey porridge. In Mandarin, I think it's xifan. It's so good. I like some pickles.
Right.
Yeah, some pickles on it, you know, or fermented tofu. Oh.
It's comfort food, isn't it? It's comfort food.
It's really amazing.
The other tour that we have, aside from my tour, is the ones that is called Chow Chow Chinatown.
That sounds like
CIAO. CIAO, Chow Chow. And that takes our guests into North Beach. Parts of
I
North
get it.
Beach.
Chow. It's the chow, right? First you have the Chinese chow, and then you have the Italian chow. Okay, that's fabulous. And is it also eating?
I'm sorry?
It's also eating, food-based?
It is sometimes, depending on what's available, but it's wonderful because it teaches, or rather it focuses on the relationship that the new Italian immigrants had with the new Chinese immigrants. And imagine, Kristen, if you're a Chinese child or an Italian child growing up in the North Beach Chinatown community, your best friends are going to be of a totally different ethnic group. You know, that's diversity before the word was even developed, right?
Exactly.
Diversity.
You just build these friendships organically and, you know, learn and embrace each other's cultures, and it kind of becomes your own and this new great thing. Gimme, this is fantastic. Thank you so much. It was such a joy to reconnect with you and talk about walkwiz.com. I will have to take one of your tours very soon. All right? Save a spot.
Anytime. All right. Take good care.
Gimme.
Stay safe. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for joining us today on this interactive show, Getting Answers. We'll be here every weekday at 3 on air and on live stream answering your questions. World News Tonight is coming up next, and go visit Chinatown, walkwiz.com. Check it out. Have a good one. All right, thank you.